Hello, my name is Justice Amegashi. We are continuing what we were doing. We're talking about healthy eating for healthy living. My name once again is Justice Amegashi. Now, yesterday we spoke about to aim for fitness. That was where we ended, and then we made mention of the fact that we should aim for a healthy weight. And how do we know we are in a healthy weight range? We said you can check your BMI, which is your weight over your height in meters square. You can check your waist circumference using a tape measure. You can check your hip circumference. You can check your waist to hip ratio. You can check your body fat. You can check your visual fat. And then we can check our body shape, where I made mention of the pear shape and the apple shape. Now today we are going to continue from where we left. We will talk about building a healthy foundation. So we are talking about building a healthy foundation. When we say building a healthy foundation, we have to make this thing clear. Why do you eat food? Why do you eat? Why do you eat? We have different reasons why we eat. Some people eat to nourish their body. Some people eat because of the illnesses they have. Some people eat because maybe they are pregnant, so they are required to eat some particular food. Some people eat because they are building their bodies. Some people eat because of several reasons. So, what is your definition of food? Be thinking about that as we continue. So, food is what we eat to keep us alive. That's what most people say, and that's the basic definition of food. Now we have two types of nutrients that we get from our food. We have the macronutrients, and then we have the micronutrients. The macronutrients are sometimes called body building foods. Example of these nutrients include carbohydrates, protein, and then fat and oils. The other one, which is the micronutrients, are sometimes called the protective foods. The reason why they are called protective foods, I'll talk about it as we move on. An example of these nutrients include vitamins and then minerals. Now, when in your food, carbohydrates supposed to make up of 45 to 65% of your food, and then protein is supposed to make up of 10 to 35, and then fat 20 to 30%. Now, what makes when preparing a healthy meal, what do you look out for? First of all, you have to look out for the nutrients in the food that you are preparing. Now, the food must be nutrient dense. It must contain all the nutrients in their right proportion. The second thing you have to look at is the sufficient amount. The food should be sufficient for you. When you eat it, you should be satisfied. You see, so you have to look at that. Another thing is it should be individualized. What a pregnant woman can eat is different from what a diabetic patient can eat, or what a hypertensive can eat. So it should be individualized. And another thing is it should meet the person's needs. If I'm losing protein and you are coming to feed me, you should aim at giving me adequate protein so that I don't lose more protein. If I'm lactating and you know that the food I'm supposed to be feeding a baby as well, you should give me a food that will meet that requirement. So it's important to look at that as well. And then the last one is the life stages and then condition. For instance, when you are feeding a child is still growing, so you may be feeding that child with more protein since that child is still growing. But if you are feeding an adult, you should look at the fact that the adult is no longer growing and just sustaining that person's life. So you take all these things into consideration before you preparing our meals. Okay, so this is a healthy eating step which I have explained earlier on. I made mention that the carbohydrates supposed to make 45 to 65% of your food, which is the bulk of the food. So when you look at this step here, you can see that this side is very big. This side of the step is big. So yeah, so when you look at the second one, which is your fat and oil, which is your protein. So this is your protein. You see that after the carbohydrate is protein, then that is your fat and oil, which is supposed to be the least in your food. See, so we are continuing. And then your food should contain variety. You shouldn't be eating only akple every day akple. You should eat some beans as well. Your food should contain varieties. Now when you are eating akple and rice, they are the same. They are not different in any way. So you should add some varieties. And then your preparation methods also have an effect on the nutrients in your food. You see, so maybe you like frying your meat or your fish. It's more appropriate that you start maybe smoking them or grilling it instead of frying it, because I made mention of something when we were talking about poor habits that we engage in, and I made mention that you should not consume more refined carbohydrates or fatty foods. So the preparation method is also important. The safety is important. How you keep your foods is very important. So I'll end today's own here. When you have any questions, any contributions, you can send it to me. I'll be very glad and happy to answer you. So today I spoke about what? Building a healthy foundation. So you should know who you go and see for to embark on your weight loss or to embark on keeping your body fit. So we spoke about the nutrients we get from our foods. Then we made mention of the fact that carbohydrates, protein, and fat are the majority, and minerals and vitamins are required in the least amount or smallest amounts, since they are just protective foods, and the other ones are bodybuilding foods. Thank you. I'm Justice Amegashi. I'm a dietitian. Thank you.